Hey everybody, welcome to Theater Appreciation. I wanted to just do a little something to welcome you to the class. I'm super excited to be doing this. I know online's a little bit different. I would love to teach this in person, I truly would. Um, but if you are a person who is a self-starter, uh, you're going to do really well in this class. If you're somebody who struggles with being self-motivated, this is going to be rough because it's very quick. We have a lot of material to cover, only 5 weeks to do it. I want to go through some of the highlights of the syllabus. Now, this is not the entire syllabus. I'm not reading it to you verbatim. There's a lot of information in there that you're responsible for, but I wanted to get through what is very specific to this course, not just the university at large. So I'm going to make myself a little smaller over here, and let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so what I hope to cover is a quick introduction of myself, and then the course description. We'll go through the objectives of the course, textbook, which I sent out announcement to you a while ago, so you should all have your textbooks at this point. You cannot be successful in this class without the textbook because you are submitting assignments through it and quizzes. We'll do the grading breakdown, show you how that works, my lectures and assignments, how that works, discussion boards, which begin immediately, your critiques, which are coming up in the final and midterm, which I don't want to be surprising the way I'm going to structure that. So I want you to understand how that's going to work, as well as some basic policies and procedures. So me, I do have a doctorate in higher education administration. You can see right there kind of where I've been to school, very happy to be teaching something, though, that I'm extremely passionate about, which is theater. I'm hoping to be a full-time professor right now. I run the costume shop. As you can see behind me, it's a little discombobulated right now. My hope is to improve upon that throughout the summer while teaching this course. But I do run the costume shop. It's located in the Center for the Arts. I'm on campus. Love it. I'm here every day working in this lab with the students during the fall and spring. Right now it's a little quieter. I do have camp, but that's a whole different ball of wax. I don't just teach theater, I do it. I'm actually currently in a show here locally in Corpus Christi right now at the Aurora Arts Theater. So if you're looking, well, that'll be for summer 2 class. It won't be in production before you guys start needing to see a show. But this is truly something that I live, breathe. It's my hobby. It's my profession. It's what I truly enjoy doing. And what brought me to Texas A&M, my husband's actually the soccer coach here. So if you ever come out to any sports for Texas A&M Corpus Christi, he coaches the soccer team. But yeah, I'm still a feminist. Just when you're in a relationship, there's going to be compromise. So here's a little bit more about me. I sort of fell in love with the theater department here when I was in Mamma Mia. I played Tanya, got to meet a lot of the students. The last of those kids are graduating this fall. Hard to believe, but this is some shots of my kiddos. I love to travel. That's in the bottom right, a group that I took to London. That's us at Cambridge. Most of my experience is with gifted and talented students. I also taught in the honors program here at Texas A&M. I've taught in first year seminar. So I'm used to kids who are typically, I say kids, young adults that are highly motivated, goal oriented. So you may be still deciding what you like, and this is a liberal arts course. This is probably something that you're using to check off a box of what you need to graduate, but I hope to learn a little bit more about what made you choose this course, even if it was offered online and I can work and take this class at the same time. Hopefully you'll still enjoy it, but that's my husband and me. Okay, so the course description. This is a very history-driven class. It does look a lot at the technical elements, what it takes to produce a show, but it's also a lot of history. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, I loved world civilization when I was in college, one of my favorite classes I took. So this looks at it more from a theater perspective, but hopefully that will be something that you'll know a little bit about, and this will just take it a step further. So we're going to look at it from the theater artist perspective as well as the audience's perspective, which gets to those critiques. They're going to ask you to look at things through both lenses. All right, so our objectives here is that you're going to learn, again, about the history and understand kind of how it works today, the things that contribute to making a show, all the way from writing the show to producing the show, and everything kind of in between, and kind of how we are where we are with theater today. Theater, like most things, math, science, it's a building block. You start with something, you build upon it, next generation builds upon it, and kind of leads to where we are now. Theater is a huge reflection of society and what's going on within the culture of the time it's being created. So if you're a person who enjoys kind of what's going on politically, then you can pull that into some of your assignments. Okay, so the textbook. Again, I sent out that announcement. If you'll go to the welcome page in Blackboard, you'll see I've circled it here at the very bottom. Those are how you get your access code. Last I heard, they still don't have them at the bookstore here, so I recommend skipping that. Don't worry about it. Just go straight to the source and buy your code so that you can get into your textbook. Please go and do that immediately. These assignments start being due, I believe it's Thursday, so we don't want to waste any time. So that is your textbook. You do need a code. Okay, so looking at how the grading is going to work. I'm used to working with kids that like to see what's the minimum I can do and get what I need in this class. So say you don't get the textbook, you're going to have a problem. Number one, that's going to be making writing the critiques very, very difficult. And as you can see, those two critiques together make 1,500 points. There's just under 7,000 points possible in this class. If you don't do the discussion boards and those little tiny assignments, it's going to add up and it's going to hurt you. The exams I'm referring to there, the two at 1,000 points apiece, those are the midterm and the final, which I'll talk a little bit more here in a second. But this sort of shows you the point breakdown. Very important that you do the little things because they add up. Now, I'm a big proponent of things are due at midnight. So 11:51, you're going to see basically a chapter has all of its assignments due on that day, and they are due by midnight. So this is a full semester's worth of material, you guys. It is 17 chapters. You need to expect to spend somewhere between 2 and 4 hours a day on this stuff. You may find a breather day you have here or there, but you need to explain to your family or roommates or whoever comes knocking on your door, or maybe you're a big online gamer and people are gonna be like, "Where you been?" You've got a class and you have a lot of content. If you're taking multiple classes during this summer one, my hat is off to you. Best of luck. It's not for the faint of heart. Just paying attention to the deadlines is going to make or break you in this class. Okay, lectures and presentations. I have created a lecture for all 17 chapters. My recommendation would be to listen to it kind of like you might a podcast. Maybe put it on your phone or put it on your computer. You can do it while you're cooking dinner or doing something else, and then go in and read the chapter afterwards. However, listening to my lectures is honestly not pivotal to your success. What I've done is I've gone through and kind of broken it down. I've given you some different ways to look at it, some examples. There are some things that are a bit complicated, so I try to break those down and talk to you about them. However, there's no content in those videos that, oh, if you don't listen to the video, you're going to miss something and it's going to really throw you off when it comes to the discussion boards or the assignments or the final. I've not put Easter eggs in there. I'm not trying to trick you, okay? Those lectures are purely if you're like, yeah, let's listen to it so it gives me a good introduction, then I go in and read the chapter and answer the assignments later. Some of them, I think the longest one is 18 minutes. So like I said, listen to it maybe like a podcast and then read the chapter. But if you just like, I'm not even going to mess with the videos, that's fine too. I will not be offended. Okay, assignments. Again, the assignments and the quizzes are all in the book. You will submit them. They're on the book. They send me your assignment. That's part of what we're paying for. Is they send me that assignment. I will grade it and I will put that in Blackboard. You'll see in the textbook where it says print a PDF and bring to class. You don't need to do that. You do not need to do that. They should be telling me that you did the assignment and what you submitted. And obviously we're not meeting in class. We will not be meeting as a Zoom or anything like that. This is very self-led. Discussion forums are hopefully where you can post if you've got questions, concerns, things you're not sure of. Also emailing me. That is the best way to reach me is via email. Let's see. There's the final project. I'm not doing that. I just feel like that's going to be too complicated with the online platform that we have. There will not be a group project, so I've scratched that out. That's not going to be part of your final grade. Again, everything is due by midnight. So when you see a due date, it wasn't due by midnight the day before and that it was due by that day. When you see that chapter 1 is due on June 2nd, that means everything in chapter 1 is due June 2nd by midnight. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Discussion boards. There are 14 of them. They are not discussion board 1 for chapter 1, discussion board 2 for number 2. It doesn't work like that. I have spread them out more, so you're going to have to pay attention to that schedule. You do need to write a response, and you need to respond to 2 other people. Now, your response, the initial response to the question, is due on the due date. I don't expect you to have responded to 2 other people by that due date. Typically, I'm going to look for those within the next 2 days. Okay, if I see you still haven't been putting that in, I'm going to hopefully shoulder tap you, but don't count on me to do that. If it gets to the end of the semester and you've done all your discussion boards, but you have not responded to other people, I can't give you full points. What I'm looking for is that you've given a thoughtful response to the discussion board and that you've given a positive constructive response to 2 other people in the course. Okay, so those are not due on the due date, so you guys don't have to be yelling at each other like, people respond, do the discussion board so I can respond to you. That's okay, as long as you get it within 2 days of that next due date, I'm going to give you full points, okay? I'd rather you wait and respond to somebody that you think their post was interesting and you want to respond to it. Critiques. Okay, so we've got 2 of those. I put this on the welcome message, so hopefully you've already been giving this some thought. You need to go see a show. I would prefer this was a straight play or a musical. Something that's going on in your community around you. Shoot, you can get fancy and go to, San Antonio to the Majestic, or go to Houston and see the ballet, or Dallas, anything. That would be great. If you literally cannot find a show anywhere around you, then email me and we will see what we can come up with. But I'm going to be picky about this. I want one to be a true show. The other critique is going to be a movie that is based upon a play or a musical. So one of my favorites is Noise is Off. I refer to it quite a bit. There's a great movie that was made with Carol Burnett way back in the 80s. It is pretty faithful to the script. It's very good. Or Hamilton. Disney Plus has the stage version, as well as the Newsies, the actual stage version, not it was a musical, we made it into something that is that movie as a movie. They actually are, here's the stage, here's the musical, it's going on, and you can watch it as if you were in the audience in a way. Those are I prefer, but any kind of movie that is based upon a play or a musical, I'm going to probably accept. We will have a discussion board based upon that. So seeing a show and then a movie based upon a show. All right, midterms and finals. These are going to be PowerPoint presentations, okay? So I'm going to have you create a PowerPoint for the midterm and the final that is cumulative. Both are cumulative and need to cover the highlights of the chapters that you have read. So the first one will be cumulative from beginning to the mid. The final is going to be from mid going forward. And I'm going to want you to hit the highlights, have some good pictures involved. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I will give you greater details. You will not need to study for this. There's no need for you to memorize this content, living in the world that we live today. But I want to see that you've thought about it, you comprehend it, and you can teach it. Honestly, if you can teach something, you understand it fairly well. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. Oh, sorry, you can't even see my little joke with Michael Jackson. That's sad. Yeah, if you are finally done with the midterm. Oh, Michael Jackson. Miss him. So so that's what the final and the midterm are going to look like. No need to really study or memorize. So I will expect to see good content. All right, policies and procedures. Obviously, attendance is asynchronous, so there's not that. So I'm going to be looking for your attendance based upon your grades. So that's why there's no specific points on that. You do the work, you're attending. Adult material. This is the arts, you guys. So you're going to see some material that may be a little risque in nature, might be a little offensive in some way. I don't want to create an environment where you are uncomfortable. That's the end of the day. I don't want that. I want to give you the education of what the arts involve, but I don't want to ever create an environment where you feel, targeted or uncomfortable. So if you're experiencing that in any way, I invite you, please let me know. I'm just trying to present good material so you have a good overview of what each period is about and what each style is about. Okay, so late work, let's not do that. Let's not even go there. Very specific. I've got the schedule posted on the welcome page. The calendar within our Blackboard has all of your due dates there. You should be getting notifications. So let's just not even go there. If there are special circumstances, life happens, you need to communicate with me. Do not wait until the end of this semester and then start explaining your life to me. Tell me what's going on right away so I can be there and advocate for you. All right, extra credit. If that happens, if I see we've got a struggle, there's something consistent, then I might offer some extra credit. Don't rely on it. If you need to drop this class, June 17th is the last chance to do that. So make sure that you go through the proper procedures. Just by not being active in my class, that's not dropping. That I will still be having to give you zeros. So if you're like, oh, this is not for me, I'm just gonna not. I mean, we're still gonna get charged for it. That's money. So drop the course if it's not working or life came up and you just can't. Make sure that you go through the proper procedure. I was an academic advisor here for four, almost 5 years. I can help you with that. So if you need to drop, let me know. I can show you where those documents are at with the registrar to make sure that that's done so that you avoid fees and you avoid bad grades on your transcript. Okay, the schedule. This is it. I've also posted this, as I said, on the welcome page. Stick to this, all right? I've tried to make it comprehensive, and it moves fast. My gosh, look there right at the beginning. You've got June 1st, June 2nd, June 3rd, June 4th. Ooh, you get the 5th kind of off, and then we jump right back in. This moves so fast, you guys. It's a lot of content, but the book is not confusing. The online book, it's not. And it's not overly wordy. If it was printed, it would be very small. So just stay on top of it, do the work. I'm allowing you to work ahead. Honestly, you can submit assignments early. So if you hit this really hard, you could be done a week ahead of time. You really could. So as soon as I post those midterms and finals, I mean, that's really in the critiques. You've got everything you need to kind of work through at the pace that you want. If you choose to work ahead, that works for me. I will try to stay as up on grading as I can. But if you're moving too far ahead, just be patient. I will get to it. Again, if you're not familiar with Blackboard very much, this is, if you look at the welcome page over here, I've circled, this is the calendar, and this is where everything, you look at these, and some of these don't get freaked out, like activity 1, 2, 3, 4, those are usually like one question, maybe two, okay? So don't completely freak out, but do notice it's all due that day, and I'm going to be looking for it. So there's that. All right. So as I think you can see, the biggest takeaway here is stay on top of things, stay faithful to the schedule, let's have a good time. I love theater. I can't wait to see your discussion boards and respond to them. Let me know. This is my first time teaching this course with this textbook. I'm interested to see what you guys think. If it could be improved upon, I want to hear about that. Definitely want to keep doing what I do better and better. So hopefully you have the tools you need to be successful. I am putting up the discussion boards 1 and 2 already. Other discussion boards I will be posting as we go, but you can go ahead and get those knocked out right here if you choose to. Thanks so much, guys, and let me know if you have any questions about any of this content by contacting me via email.